Yeah, I like that shirt. It's a White Rock shirt.
That's right.
More GG, more skill.
So true, so true.
All right, so we're kind of waiting here right now for this next game to get started up. It is packed down here at GamesCom. Can't believe how many people are down here. In fact, I feel like some of the camera shots that we're getting out here don't quite capture exactly how many people there are.
There's so many people. There's
swaths of people over on this side and over here that, you know.
We couldn't show you unless we had a 3D hologram.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
And you lived outside, in which case you probably don't have good enough internet to watch this.
Looks like one of the players might have left the game for a second, so hopefully we'll get this going soon.
The next map is going to be in Tomb Valley. And, you know, this is a map where we see Broodlords and Vortexes almost every time.
We have, like, literally, unless there's no Zerg in the game, we have not quite had a non-Broodlord game.
Zerg games are going long nowadays, Tasty.
You know, it's funny because
do not die anymore.
I know. It's interesting because the game's becoming more and more figured out to the point now where people can just, they get to that end game. There's no longer these random attacks. Occasionally there is, I guess, but no, it's an exciting moment here in StarCraft 2 where the game is becoming so figured out. It's pretty sick. Here's a shot of KiLLeR now.
He looks like a killer while he plays.
He does look like a killer, man.
So unbelievably intense.
He's a deadly nerd. I thought he played incredibly well, by the way, in that first game. I thought, you know, he, despite the fact that Hasu, who we see here now, I thought adjusted perfectly for the build that was coming at him. He just didn't have the execution, and that's what can happen sometimes, is that you have countered the build, but then when the attack occurs, you don't execute it right, and, I mean, you just lose.
Yeah. All right, well, he's in the game. We're starting it, and Hasu is going to have to really pay attention to his use this time. I think he knows it, too, because everything looks so good for him up to that point, but you let KiLLeR get ahead for a second, man, and it looks like he can just, well, kill you.
He can stay true to his name. We're here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Are you guys having fun?
There you go.
Good. Get into my observer mode, which is actually where I slouch in my chair like this. You do it too. And we're going to get that game thrown up to you in a second here. And as I say that, I am not even on the Nexus. Okay. In the upper left, we have our Protoss player. Show some love, fellow Germans, for Hasu. And in the bottom left, impressing me quite a bit. An up-and-coming South American player from Chile. Give it up for KiLLeR. I feel like since we cast so much GSL, I feel like I have to zoom in on the players.
You do.
As we do.
You got to get a close-up, man. That's what KiLLeR looks like.
That's the best I can do. All right, in Tomb Valley, this is a map that is very easy to get the third base on.
Tasteless, hold on, that is so true, but look at this. Really quick scout here by Hasu, and he sees that it's a super fast pool by KiLLeR, so now he can go ahead and decide how he wants to defend against that. Does he try to hold down there, or does he just build the forge and a pylon in his main?
It's a tough call.
Well, I would definitely go
pylon here.
Pylon in the main, I would say.
That's probably the safest. You can make a pylon like around here and get a cannon, or something that's cannon extra here. This place actually also good as well. And you also want to make sure you make that cannon here. Now, actually, let me rewind a minute and explain to our viewers. So we have the Lynx hatching. Lynx are on the way. If he makes a cannon here, by the time the Lynx get up to this location, the cannon just dies. But so you might ask yourself, why does he make the forge here? Because he has no pylon that's done yet. So he makes so he's going to have to lose this pylon to the forge. Makes a cannon here, and this is going to force him into a weird, wonky one-base build. Now, that doesn't mean the Zerg didn't give up a lot. The Zerg doesn't have any drones. Now, here's the question: is he going to go for the main first or kill this first?
Well, I think you always do try to check out that main first, but you'll see that there's not much damage done. Maybe he can pick up a probe or two, though. That would be really nice.
All right,
in fact, surrounding the cannon, he's got to be careful there, Hasu does.
All right, a little bit of an overextension there by our Zerg player, losing a Ling. And he's going to come down here now, get the pylon, get the cannon.
Yeah, so now the game will normalize. It'll be Hasu doing a one-base opening, probably just into expansion, against KiLLeR, who now has to drone up.
All right, so the forge is going to go down. That means no more cannons. He may want to get one more cannon here. This geyser's not going to be covered, which is going to be difficult. And Artosis, where do you go from here?
Well, you know, it's really up to Hasuobs. I think that one of the best things you can do, you can obviously go for like a 3 warp gate expand behind this, or you could go like a 2 warp gate void ray. That one's good as well. And it's just like a stylistic choice. And in fact, KiLLeR, notice that he's getting a gas. That's not for anything cheesy. He has to get speed because it's really possible for Hasuobs to transition this into a very early attack if he wants. And with slow lings, you're not really going to kill anything.
You know, it's funny because this is a situation that would happen in StarCraft 1. So when this problem occurred in StarCraft 1, that's where this solution actually came into light. By the way, this Zergling's hitting this assimilator over here.
Some nice micro.
It's pretty intense micro here. Hard to multitask while doing this.
Oh! That's exactly what he was going for, but just in the range of the cannon, so it didn't work out.
So if this had not been solved, this solution, which is exactly what you do in StarCraft 1, fast expanding may not have come up in StarCraft 2 for a long period of time. Because people might have thought, oh, well, just Zergs will pull early and then you lose.
Yeah. But, you know, as long as you're comfortable with it, it's not a big deal. You know, it just matters who's more comfortable with it. Is Zerg more comfortable doing that early pull? Or is Protoss just completely fine with backing it up?
Now, we got a bunch of lings coming up here,
yeah.
Artosis, and he's got ling speed on the way. I think he's going to try to run him over. Now, let's face it, guys, his pylon's going to take a while to finish. I think he's going to get pushed up the ramp. Notice he's only showing 3. The rest are going to stay out of vision because he wants to surprise Hasuobs. Hasuobs getting a forge, getting a gateway.
Oh, man, this could be rough, Tasteless. He needs to block this off perfectly. This is a very dangerous part of this game that's going on right now. He's going to have to use a force field. There goes the force field.
Now, that was a setup, by the way.
Yeah, he wants him to use a force field now, so he doesn't have one later.
Now he's got a second sentry out here.
Now he's going to have to do a full wall off.
Oh, this is going to be really hard.
And in fact, already KiLLeR's switching back into drones. Realize that Hasuobs may have enough to actually hold this.
Okay, remember, there's no cannon there, okay? Sentries don't do a ton of damage. He's
going to bait him, Tasteless.
Oh, he's trying to bait him out.
He wants him to come down, and here we go! Oh,
and
my God. Hasuobs completely messing up here. It looks like he's going to lose both these sentries. Another one is coming down, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. These Zerglings look like they're definitely going to get through.
And I think this may be the end of Hasuobs here. Warp gate completes. He's going to try to warp in some more units. But this just may very well not be enough. The cannon's almost complete. Can he get it done in time? No, I don't think so.
Wow. Well, this is just as bad news as you can get for Hasuobs. Look at his supply. It is plummeting. And already 7 workers have been killed by KiLLeR.
All right, so because KiLLeR wasn't entirely sure if that attack was going to work, he started making drones right before it started and kept making drones. Now, what's funny is that he kept making lings, this game would be done.
Yes, that's completely true. If he had just made, like, maybe 10 more lings, 12 more lings, the game would have ended right there, and KiLLeR would have been up 2-0, and poor Hasuobs would be out. But as is, Hasuobs still has a little chance.
Yeah, Hasuobs is not dead. I thought maybe he would go back into making Zerglings. It looks like he just wants to keep making drones for the time being. In fact, at the unit count station, 42-31.
It's a big lead for right now in the game. At this point in the game, in fact, Protoss likes to be ahead as far as the worker count goes.
So, and that's of course because of the chrono boost there they have. And again, the first cannon here, that's actually going to be usable only just now finishing. We're about 10 minutes into this game. That's how hard the pressure has been here for Hasuobs.
Well, Void Ray is on the way. We'll see if he can get anything actually done with that. You know, one thing to say about KiLLeR here is he is making a 4th queen. So I feel like with that 4th queen and the creep that he is pushing, I don't see the Void Ray really delaying or harassing that 3rd base all that well.
No, he doesn't know about the Void Ray coming yet.
Yeah.
He barely stopped that in time. Now, he's just going to keep droning up. He's going to open up these rocks over here so that way he has better circulation here. He won't have to go on the low ground like these drones are when the Protoss decides to put the pressure on. Meanwhile, pushing out here with a bunch of creep tumors. Hasu, by the way, is, excuse me, actually KiLLeR, by the way, his Overlords all in great positions to check and see what's going on. And when this Overseer's done, he's going to try to scout the tech tree inside the main.
Well, he's going to fly up there. I don't think he's actually seen that there's Void Ray and Phoenix already on their way out of here, but he's going to in a second as his Overseer actually goes up. And he still hasn't seen it. He's still...
Well, exactly. Well, Overlord being attacked here.
All right, so finally he does know exactly what's going on. So can he get some damage done with the Void Ray and Phoenix? He is behind and needs to catch up somehow.
All right, Infestation Pit coming in here. And right now we're seeing KiLLeR just start up his tech. He's going to start powering pretty heavily here. Now, what Hasu wants to do is get rid of as many Overlords as he possibly can. He's got to be careful here. The Void Ray going to be the focus of attacks here. Losing shields will lose HP as well.
And
a little bit.
Good defense there by KiLLeR. You know, the fact that he's already lost some hit points there on his flying units that are so important to keep at high health because it's very mathematical what you can do with them. KiLLeR is basically guaranteed that the Void Ray is not going to be an issue this game.
All right, continuing to wall in over here. You know, again, Hasu is behind, but he's not dead. So he can still do this. He's just got to be careful. Now, note the creep spread here. Pretty good considering how late the Queens were. This is not like a normal ZVP where they had standard macro setup. Don't forget, this is a game that started out with a rush that came so soon you wouldn't have time to get cannons at your entrance.
Well, KiLLeR's taken a fourth base in response to that third of Hasu, and that's just such a great choice because Hasu is a while from attacking. Just no way he can really put on pressure. And in fact, right now, he's going for double robo. So he's putting all of his eggs into one timing basket.
Well said, Artosis. Well, looks like, what's the upgrades here? Actually, we check that out. All right, he's only got +1 attack. And over here at the Zerg, just +1 armor. It's funny because you can see the games at almost the 14-minute marker, but yeah, everything was knocked back so far because they were both hitting each other so hard early on, especially KiLLeR.
That's so true. By now in a standard game, Zerg has been maxed for a minute or two.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it just goes to show how crazy that early game truly was.
Which I think they both handled themselves brilliantly in, by the way. Now, fourth base just now finishing here. Going to get those extractors. He wants a lot of that gas tech, and that's because we know that there's a Spire on the way. I believe that is here.
Yeah, right now a lot of creep being pushed as well, Tasteless, and those Queens are really stopping the Void Ray from harassing it all. The Void Ray is trying to kill off creep tumors, but just isn't managing to do very much.
Even this position here, creep up this way, not that useful. All right, so the drones now going to go and start mining gas. He's going to go intense air here as the Spire just about now finishes. And the Hive is almost done, so he's probably going to go straight to a Greater Spire. He's probably going to get a bunch of Corruptors, get that Greater Spire, and try dominating the air. Now, you got to be careful because, well, actually, I think both sides do. This map, as you can see here, this is pretty open. It's pretty much a field out here and a few potholes in it. So, you know, you got to be careful in that sense on both sides because for the Protoss, the Broodlords can actually fan out and do very well. Yeah. It's not going to be easy to get a Vortex off, but at the same time, there's not a lot of positions to hide your Broodlords to keep them safe.
That's so true, Tasteless.
So
I mean, there's only a few areas that have any sort of high ground near each base, so it can be quite tough. But, you know, I don't think this is ever going to come to Vortexes. It's going to be basically with these Colossi that are popping out, he's going to have to move. He has one right now. He has, you know, an okay amount of Stalkers, but he's going to have to move out immediately because he doesn't have really anything. These Stalkers, they don't even have Blink. How do you deal with Broodlords without Blink at the minimum?
Well, I don't. Does he even have a Twilight Council? He's upgrading shields right now.
No, this is. It's
okay, so basically, Hasu tech tree is completely wonky right now.
Yeah.
And he's pushing out now. It looks like he's going to be closing in. Killing off the creep tumors. It looks as though he just wants to wait for these, well, I guess he's not going to wait for Broodlords, actually. He's going to go ahead and engage. Probably saying there's not enough Stalkers to hold it. Defensive force fields right now. And he's going to have to back up. He's backing up just a little bit.
Yep. Making some extra roaches as well. And
he
now,
may not switch into Broodlords actually during this attack.
Yeah.
He may try to just win with Roachling and Fester Corruptor. Nice bungle there.
I think you're right, Tasteless. I mean, the backbone of this army is completely these Stalkers, so the Corruptors are going to be very useful, and Broodlords would take too long to morph. So this is really the timing of Hasselhoff's. Can he keep his army together? Some great chain fungals going off, and here we go. He's going to go for it. The Corruptor's coming in and targeting down immediately. 3 Colossus do go down. The 4th one being taken down as well, and it's looking like
KiLLeR's dominate. What a scary player, just running over Hasselhoff's. Hasselhoff's army is boiled down to just Stalkers. He's going to be pushed back further and further and further. And I don't even know where you want to go from here, Artos. Correct me if I'm wrong, there's just no way that you're going to recover from this.
Well, there's 9-10 Broodlords being made right now against someone who has 18 Stalkers, a Void Ray, and no Blink.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's just nothing you can do.
An attack move wins this game right now. And that's likely what we'll see KiLLeR do, because that's how he attacks normally. So, I mean, this is a rough beat here for Hasselhoff. Both games he was in a good position at points, and KiLLeR just kept on going and put him down like this.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the moment when KiLLeR just steamrolls Hasselhoff. I think in a sense, as we said, this game's basically over. This is the irony of when you set your buildings up like this. You have to as Protoss, but then instead of that being good defense, it cages off your army from getting underneath the Broodlords. And if you try to go underneath them, then you're caged out of your base.
That's right. Well, we do see that he's trying to buy time for Blink right now. He's going to Chrono Boost Blink quite a bit. Well, I guess not actually, but
he's not doing it.
He's just chilling right now. There's not much for him to actually do to come back here.
Yeah, I think he just finished a fleet beacon here. I don't think there's going to be enough time for a mothership to come out, Artosis.
He doesn't even really have the gas for that.
I would say expect GG any second. We have a hidden base over here. Still way too futile right now for any good results to come from this game.
You know, he is trying to do some multi-pronged harassment right now. He's killed off a few buildings here and there, but his main army is just going to be absolutely decimated.
Throwing up some more infested Terrans here. Now the ramp acting like a funnel here. Protoss units can't quite get down. A Void Ray comes up, but infested Terrans will be able to drive it back. And I would say expect GG any second. There's really no way for anybody to recover from this. So Hasselhoff loses this 2-0. GG.
Wow, man. You know what? When he actually had the wall in up before the Speedlings came, KiLLeR was in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, he had already sacrificed a lot of economy. He had sacrificed a lot more for all those Speedlings. But then he baited Hasselhoff out. Hasselhoff took the bait. He walked out, got surrounded, didn't get a force field up in time. And that's really where things spiraled out of control. Before that, Hasselhoff was in a good spot once again.
Yeah, you know, I got to say, KiLLeR really impressed me back there. He looked like a much more solid Zerg than what I expected. I knew he was good, or he wouldn't be here at Intel Extreme Masters, but damn, he's like really good, really solid. Now, I thought in both games, the build order decisions were great. There was only one mistake I really saw him make out of this best of 3, and that was the one bad attack with the Broodlords in game number 1, but maybe that was nerves from playing on the stage.
Yeah, could be. You know, he's getting more and more stage time, getting to travel to a lot of IEMs already, to be honest. And that's really helping him to grow his career and calm down a bit. And we see that because Hasselhoff is one of the most experienced RTS pro gamers on the planet. He's been playing matches on stage, winning tournaments live for years upon years.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because, you know, not that Hasselhoff's played bad, but I expected a little bit more. I think the builds were unique, but, you know, when you do that build that KiLLeR did in game number 2, you are just forcing the Protoss to play by your rules.
That's true.
You are forcing them to play a very specific build. So that was a smart move there by KiLLeR. In fact, we're going to have a brief interview here with KiLLeR. So, Jarrett, take it away.
I'm standing here with our winner, dignified as KiLLeR. How do you feel breaking the hearts of all these German fans?
I feel bad.
Don't feel bad, man. Feel good. You're so good. Do you have anything that you would like to say to the Germans or to any of your fans abroad?
Okay, this is my 3rd time in Germany, so I'm quite happy. I really enjoy the time here, and the crowd is awesome. So thanks for support the esports that It's the important thing.
Thank you. Well, you are clearly unbelievably skilled. Best of luck in the next rounds. Thank you very much.